Hello everyone, welcome to group time today. So this week, as we move into our spring topic, we're going to be learning all about flowers. Today we're going to start with learning the names of some flowers and exploring the different parts of a flower. Tomorrow we will learn about how flowers grow. Okay, so I'm going to show you some photographs of some common spring flowers. They might be some flowers that we see in our country as we move into springtime. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at each picture and use our language to describe the flowers and talk about what shapes they are, what colours they are, what can we see on the flowers, and then we're going to learn the names of them. So let's start. Here is our first spring flower. Does anybody know what this one is called? This one is called a bluebell. Why do you think it's called a bluebell? Pause this video and talk to your grown-up. Why could this be called a bluebell? Great, well done, some really good discussion there. So this is called a bluebell because this flower here is often a bluey purpley colour, and if you look at the shape of the petals, it looks like a bell, a little bell that we ring. Can you see the outline of the shape of the bell? So there would be the bell middle there, the little ball that hits the sides to make it go ring-a-ding-a-ding, and it's in the shape of a bell, so it's called a bluebell. It's on a tall stem, and there are lots of bluebells on this one stem. Now then, does anybody know what this flower is called? This one is a common dog violet. Can you say that? Common dog violet. And how can we describe this flower? Pause the video and see how you could describe this picture of this flower. Fantastic, well done. So I can see that this dog violet flower has got lots of green leaves, and it has got some blue flowering petals. And I think I can see a little middle bit of the flower there that looks to be a yellow or a red colour. And it seems to be growing from the ground next to a wall. So this might be a flower that maybe likes to be sheltered. Let's see what the next flower is. Does anybody know what this flower is? We see this flower a lot in springtime. This one is a cow parsley. Can you say that? Cow parsley, well done. So again, pause the video and see if you can describe this flower to your grown-up. Fantastic, well done. You might describe this flower by saying it's got lots of tiny white petals. You see how small the little white petals are. And again, it looks to be quite on quite a tall stem. And if you look at this one here, look, there's one tall stem with lots of flowers coming off of it. It's a very pretty flower. Do you know what this flower is? This one is a cowslip. Can you say cowslip? And what can we say about this flower? How can we describe this flower? Pause the video now and talk to your grown-up about this flower. Welcome back, well done. You might say that this flower has got beautiful yellow petals, hasn't it? And if you look at this one that hasn't opened yet, it looks like it's been protected by some green petals on the outside and yellow petals on the inside. Let's see what the next flower is. This one is a cuckoo flower. Can you say that? Cuckoo flower, that's right. Again, pause the video and see if you can describe this flower. Great, well done. You could say that this cuckoo flower has got silky white petals, and it's quite tall again, isn't it? And here, look, these ones haven't opened yet. So these big ones here with the white petals are open, and these ones are still as a bud, aren't they? They haven't opened yet. Some very beautiful flowers. Now these are very colourful flowers. These ones are primrose. You might see a lot of these if you go to a park or something like a museum that's got lots of gardens. You might often see primrose planted in gardens where you go for nice walks. So primrose can be lots of different colours. I can see some white and some bluey purple and some pink and some yellow. They're very, very beautiful flowers, aren't they? How else could you describe these flowers? Fantastic, well done. When I looked at this picture, I noticed one other thing. I noticed that these primrose are smaller than these ones. So some are small and some are big. This flower here is called a ramson. Can you say that? Ramson. How could you describe this flower? What colours can you see? What shapes can you see? Fantastic, well done. You could say that these flowers are green and white. And if you look carefully at one of the petals, it looks a little bit like a star, doesn't it? It's got kind of arms and legs that shoot out like a star. Now this flower we see as we're coming out of winter and heading into spring. So it's still when it's a little bit cold, we might see snowdrops. Why do you think they're called snowdrops? Pause the video and have a think about why they are called snowdrops. Fantastic, well done. Now I think these plants are called snowdrops because they're white like the snow and they look like they're dropping. They kind of look a bit upside down like they're going to drop, don't they? Fantastic, well done. This flower here is called a wood forget-me-not. How could you describe this flower? What colours can you see here? Fantastic, well done. I can see lots of beautiful colours on these flowers. I can see that all of the petals are blue, but I can see some orange and some white. So the flowers have got different colours in the middles. Well done if you noticed that. Now then, we're going to have a little think about the parts of plants. So we're going to have a look at the petal, the leaf, the root, the stem and the anther. So let's start at the bottom here with the roots. Okay, so I'm going to click on roots. So the roots absorb the minerals and the water from the soil. And the roots help the plant to anchor in the soil and to stay upright. So when you're planting a flower, you might put the seed under the soil. And once the seed has settled into the soil, these roots will begin to grow from the seed. Can you see the little squiggly lines going deep into the soil? And these roots live in this soil here and they soak up all the goodness and all the water from the soil to help the flower grow. So those are called the roots. Next, we're going to learn about the leaf. Can you see the leaves coming off of this flower? Let's learn about the leaves. So the leaves here make food for the plant, and they make food from the carbon dioxide in the air and from the sun. And you'll learn lots more about this when you get a little bit older and you go into big school. You will learn all about food for plants. But all we need to know now is that the leaves help to give the flower some food. Okay. Next, let's learn about the stem. This is like the big stick in the middle. Let's learn about the stem. So the stem transports water around the plant. It holds the plant upright so that it can get more sun. So the roots suck in the water and then the stem takes the water from the roots up to the flower at the top. So the stem has got a very important job. Okay, so we've got roots, leaves, stem. Next we're going to learn about the anther. And that's this little middle bit here that you can see of the flower. Can you see these little, they look like little seeds. Can you see them? So the anther contains pollen, which brushes onto the insects when they land on the flowers. So animals like bees and butterflies and ladybirds like to collect pollen from plants, and they move pollen around by carrying it on their bodies and moving around between different plants. So the anther is where all the pollen in the flower is kept. And last of all, let's learn about the petal. So the petal, this yellow bit here, the bit that we often say is pretty, the petal attracts the animals because the animals think, oh, that looks a lovely flower, but that's got lots of pollen in, and they go to the petal. The plants need insects to bring pollen that they've collected from other plants so that they can make seeds. And petals are often bright colours so that they attract the insects. So a lot of the time when we've got flowers, we might see blues and oranges and pinks and reds, nice bright and pretty colours. Okay, so we know in a plant like this, in a flower, we have the roots, the leaf, the stem, the anther and the petal. I'll just go through them. An anther. So your job now is to have a look at these different plants and flowers on this hunt sheet. So here we've got a daisy, a buttercup, a clover, some ivy, a dandelion, a nettle, a bramble, a rose, a bluebell, a poppy, a sunflower and a dog rose. And I would like you to go into your garden, or if you're going on a walk somewhere today, I would like you to look and see if you can see any different types of flowers. You might see some flowers that are not on this list that you could take a photograph of. But if you see any flowers on this list, you could print it out and give it a tick to say that you have found them. If you're not going for a walk today, or if you don't have any flowers in your garden, you can have a go at this activity. This activity is called putting together a flower. And what you will need to do is print out this page and cut out all the bits of the flower and stick them in the right place. So starting with the soil, what comes first? Do the petals come first in the soil or do the roots come first? You've got to put the flower together. If you don't have a printer, you could ask your grown-up to draw the different pieces of a flower on a piece of paper that you can cut out and stick together. Have fun. I can't wait to see what you come up with and what different types of flowers you find. And I'll see you tomorrow.